Republican Party leaders met in Boston this week to map out a strategy for taking back the White House amid a series of family feuds. Our roundtable and GOP Chair Reince Priebus here to analyze and debate what's next for the GOP and those fall showdowns with the White House. First, some background from ABC senior Washington correspondent Jeff Zeleny.
Let's start the family feud.
For Republicans, it seemed like a summer right out of an old game show, with policy feuds pitting some of the party's top stars against each other. Take Chris Christie versus Rand Paul on national security.
This strain of libertarianism, I think, is a very dangerous thought.
I'm the one trying to grow the party, and attacking me isn't helping.
And Mitch McConnell versus Ted Cruz on the wisdom of shutting the government down over funding health care.
The problem is the bill that would shut down the government wouldn't shut down Obamacare.
The sort of cocktail chatter wisdom in Washington that, oh, the shutdown was a political disaster for Republicans, it's not borne out by the data.
Republicans are still split over whether to join President Obama on immigration reform. Is it bad blood as the party tries to define itself before 2016, or a healthy debate?
It's going to be hard for the libertarian to make the establishment happy. It's going to be hard for the establishment to make the libertarian happy. Welcome to politics. It's a tough business.
There's no shortage of prospective Republican candidates, and that makes it even more challenging for the party to resolve its ideological divide. For this week, Jeff Zeleny, ABC News, Washington.
And we are joined now by the man who's got the job of bringing the GOP together, Party Chair Reince Priebus. Mr. Chairman, thanks for joining us this morning. I want to start out by showing this big story that appeared in Politico this week called Eve of Destruction. Ominous headline right there. Went on to say it is almost impossible to find an establishment Republican in town who's not downright morose about the 2013 that has been and is about to be. Most dance around it in public, but they see this year as a disaster in the making, even if most elected Republicans don't know it or admit it. Your response?
Well, first of all, Kalimera, George, happy to be on
I'm glad you brought the Greek in. Okay.
Hey, listen, and if you saw the next few Politico articles, you saw articles just yesterday about the peace and actually détente on the Republican National Committee between those libertarians and the RNC. I actually think, George, look, you know what? A healthy family debate is not a bad thing at all. And I really believe that. I don't think at a time when we just came off of a presidential election that having a party that is just dull and boring is something that is good for not just our party, but for this country. So I think that these debates are good. I was there in Boston. Obviously, I would appear to be someone that would be claiming that everything is hunky-dory, but actually, we had a very positive meeting, and there was peace, and there was debate, and everyone left energized about the future of a party that is drastically changing its approach to politics.
And I think you got a standing ovation when you called for this resolution saying that there would not be any Republican debates on CNN and NBC if they continue to go forward with these documentaries and films about Hillary Clinton. One notable dissent came from Mitt Romney's former senior advisor, Eric Fernstrom. He had this tweet right here. He says it's bad optics for the RNC to block CNN and NBC from sponsoring presidential debates. Attacking the media is a loser's game. Well,
I don't know if his Etch-a-Sketch on tilt, George, or, listen, I'm not really taking advice from Eric Fernstrom right now. I'm trying to build a party that's year-round. I'm trying to fix a data and digital operation. I'm trying to get a hold of a primary process and a debate debacle that, as you know, I've called a traveling circus. The fact of the matter is I've got to protect this party and our nominees. We don't want a whole lot of 23 debate rounds like we've had before. And I would just say that entities like NBC and CNN that are moving forward with four-part miniseries about Hillary Clinton are not going to take part in our debates. And look, if you're not going to have 23 debates, these guys are making it a lot easier for us to pare that down to a reasonable number in front of people and entities that actually give a darn about the future of the Republican Party.
You were also willing to call out the Romney campaign for Mitt Romney's comments about immigration, saying self-deportation was horrific. But do you believe that your party is really ready to reach out in a way that it needs to do to win and bring in greater numbers of women, Hispanics, blacks, and gays?
Well, look, I mean, we're deploying the biggest field operation that we've ever done in the history of our party, George. What we're doing is something that no national party has ever done in an off year. Since our April meeting back in Los Angeles, we've hired 157 people already, full-time across the country. We're probably going to double that number by the end of the year. In an off year, coming off the heels of an election loss, to have that many field people in Hispanic, Asian, African-American communities, it's unheard of. And my point is this: look, if you're going to get the sale, you got to show up and ask for the order. And my point about our party has been, you can't be a national party that shows up 5 months before an election and expects to move mountains. And so this is a big cultural shift in our party as far as our field operation, our data operation, and obviously I think we've got some infrastructure issues in regard to our primaries. And that's what I'm working on. I've got to control the world that I live in. And that's the world of party mechanics and operations. And I think that if you look at the press that came out of Boston as a whole, you will see very positive stories from the Wall Street Journal to Politico to even ABC.
Mr. Chairman, thanks for joining us this morning.